Welcome to Inside the Mill. We talk real fitness, real results, and the stories to prove it. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Mill podcast. Coach Christian here, my main man Seth. Today's podcast episode is until you change your identity, your results will never change. The biggest problem that we see with our clients is they're trying to change the results and they say that they want to change the results, but they don't actually change what they're doing on a day-to-day basis. They don't change their environment. They don't change their non-negotiables. Seth, to kind of open this up, this was what I was going to ask you is, why do you think people say that they want something, but then they don't change the things that actually is going to allow them to have the thing that they say that they want? Like saying, hey, I want to drop 40 pounds, but they don't do the things that they need to do. You know, they'll say that to you, but then you'll see them out in public or you'll see them somewhere and they're ordering a coffee loaded with sugar, eating pizza, eating cupcakes, and still partaking in a lot of the things that are keeping them from getting the result that they say that they want.
For me, it comes down to a mindset, a skill set, and the stories that you tell yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So you can say that you want to do something, but if you don't have the skill set to get there, then it's like, and so majority try to do it and lean on their own understanding and try to figure it out on their own. And when they do this, and that's the crazy part, we talk about it all the time, is like if you had a feeling that you need to get, you wouldn't try to go and buy the material to fill your own teeth.
You're going to go to an expert.
Haircut, like guys are coming to you for haircuts. They're not trying to cut their own hair.
Yeah.
They're not like me. You can't cut your own hair. Before you throw that jab in there at me. You've got all these different problems and issues that we will say, hey, I need help on this because I don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
Guy just came in on the roof and wanted to help us out with our roof and stuff. If I don't know that skill set, then I have to have someone who's going to help me with that. So that side of it.
You know, with that, what's kind of funny about that too is whenever you pull up and you go get your oil change, you don't get out of the car and be like, hey, bro, don't do it this way. Like, you're not trying to coach the mechanic on how he should change your oil. You know what I mean? But sometimes we'll build out a plan for clients and tell them, hey, follow these, do this, do that. But then they're like, man, I don't really want to do that. I don't really want to do this. It's like, hey, well, we're the expert. Like, we've got the plan for you. You just got to put it into play. But a lot of times they have pushback on it, or they don't want to do it because they're comfortable doing things a certain way. And it's just funny how, we're the experts at that, but they're not telling the mechanic how to change their tires or change their oil and stuff like that.
Well, they're also not going to, and like people can say whatever they want to say about like us and being like doctors or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Physically, we help people stay and help them with longevity wise. And so the other side of that, you don't call a doctor or you don't call a mechanic and you don't say, hey, how much is this going to be? You go, hey, I got to come in for an appointment. I need you to look underneath the
What's
hood.
going on?
I need to see what's going on. And so it's that that goes back to the mindset side of it too. It's just like, what if you changed I had a guy come in the other day. He's in his 80s, early 80s, and they was taking a trip overseas, and he was leaving in about 3-4 months ago overseas, Italy and things like that. And he's like, wanted to get in shape. My wife's here too. Wanted to get in shape before the trip and want to be able to do all the things on the trip. And I was like, cool, yeah, we definitely help you. And driving a nice Lexus, taking an overseas trip. It is 80. And then he was like, let me just get to the point. How much is this going to cost me? And I was like, well, this is kind of what we do. Get you in here for 30 days, try it out. I can do silver sneakers. Then do silver sneakers, like for free. Then like, it's not going to get you results. And I think about that guy. And when he left, I was thinking like, what if with the same intensity he had valued his health. And so he was like, hey, you know what? That Lexus, that expensive Lexus, what if he invested in his health like he did with his vehicles or his vacations? Like, what would, and then just the way I start to think, it was like, how many more vacations is this guy going to be able to take? Like, this might be his last one. And easily he could just been like, hey, I need to invest in this and I need to help with this so I can prolong and have more trips later on that I can go to. But we just are in our own way with a lot of different things and the way that we look at things, and like the way that you look at it's holding you back. And so a lot of the times it's questioning and stuff like, hey, is that really true? Like what you're saying, is that really, really true? And then looking for someone who is got the results that you want or have gotten the results from others that you want and going like, "Hey, I don't know how to do this. Can you point me in the right direction?" And it's like a fast pass, like, if you go on the Disney World, they'll give you the fast pass, like, "Hey, here's this long line, and I just wanna not sit in that long line. I just wanna cut to the front of the line and be able to get the information, and I'll pay for that."
Hmm.
And, like, that's what I more than anything is, like, that should be the way to do it, is just go, "Hey, you know what? I wanna cut here because I'm gonna have struggles, I'm gonna have issues and
No doubt.
problems and spend all kinds of money trying to figure this out, or I can just cut to the line and not deal with all those problems, issues, save time," which we all get limited time, and then go from there. So, anyway.
Yeah, I think a big problem with it too is people just don't have a goal that means that much to them. And it's more of, hey, I feel like I want to lose 40 pounds, but it's like, man, if you're just feeling like that, you're going to let your feelings control your actions a lot.
Yeah.
Whether it be when the alarm goes off in the morning, I don't feel like getting up. I'm going to snooze the alarm. But you got to have like our clients that we see that do the best, they have a clear target. And a lot of times they have a deadline on that target too, because they know, hey, whenever April 1st comes up, I told myself I wanted to be down this much weight, and it gives them leverage. I think that's what a lot of people, they don't give themselves enough leverage to help them get to those targets. And it's not, their target isn't deep enough to them. So our clients that do best are is people, it's like Pam, for example, like she has to do this in order to be able to take care of her husband. And that she shows up because of that, because she knows if I don't show up, I can't take care of my husband. If I don't get stronger, I'm going to have to hire somebody to be there with him 24/7. And it's things like that that are so deeply rooted in her that it gets her up in the
Yeah.
morning. She has a purpose of why she rises in the morning. And I think a lot of people don't have a reason to rise in the morning. And so that's why they hit snooze. That's why they just kind of coast through life, because they don't have a deep enough target to get them there.
I've said it a million times, is like the individuals will if you ask somebody what they want, they'll sit there and they'll not have an answer for it. But vice versa, if you ask people what they don't want, they can list for days and days and stuff that they don't want to experience. So your focus is on what you don't want to experience instead of what you do want to experience. And that's another big part of it, which is a mindset issue as well. It's like you're only focused on those negatives, and you're not focused on the any of the positives of what you can get from it as well as far as that. So, and having that clarity is like, I just did a video today, like, lost my mom back December 23rd, and like it's a daily struggle. I don't talk about it. I just show up and do the work. But I have, and you've seen it. Like we're now 3 months into the year complete, and all the stuff that we've accomplished. We've got Results Advanced Live going down. We've got a half marathon to be running pretty quick. We've got devotionals that we've created. I've got a book that I'll have out soon. We've got all these different things that we just are like, hey, we're going and we've got to get stuff done, and we've got to put our focus on all the stuff that we need to get done instead of focusing on all the things that aren't going right. And that's a big problem with most people too, is they're so focused on all the things that are going wrong that they're not putting any kind of focus on, like, hey, you know what? This is a tough time. I need to take my mind off of some of this. Let's build and create something that's going to last a long time. And right now, that's your body. Like, it's going to last forever. It's like with my mom, it's like she passed from ALS, and it's like in the back of my mind, I think about it every day. It's like, this probably could be something that I get. And like for me, I want this machine and this body to be, when I check out of this world, I want it to be like, there's nothing left. The mileage was like the engine was burned out because you did so much, because you went so hard. And that, and that's just me. And that's kind of what's on my mind right now as far as.
Yeah. And the possibility whenever you change your identity, and I think this is what I know I can definitely speak for myself and probably speak for you as well. This is what brought us into this industry in the first place, is we started to shift our identity and become this person who works out, become this person who gets their steps in daily, who eats right. And we've gotten so much fruit from living that way in our life that it's made us want to share it with others. I know for me, like whenever I started to drop body fat, like I started to show up differently. I started to get more confident. I started to get the discipline started to carry over in other areas of my life. And with that, like it just made me, okay, like this has done so much for my life. I want to share it with others. And I think that that's a big thing that a lot of people don't see, man, is they don't stick to something consistently enough to get the results. And so they just don't even see what's on the other side. And they maybe step through one door and they go, yeah, I mean, that's cool that I've, dropped some weight and stuff like that. But then they don't even see the other areas that it could carry over into their life. And so they just almost dip their toe into what they're capable of. And they don't even see all the fruit and all the things and the way that it can level up their lives. So I think a lot of people are just missing out on what actually taking over your health does, what it does for your confidence, what it does for the way you treat people, the way that you show up. It makes a huge difference on your life. So
Yeah, no, I understand.
yeah, I think, man, this doesn't have to be a super long one. I kind of wanted to give on the pathway, just a checklist. I made a checklist of 10 things that people can kind of do to help them shift their identity. And then if you can kind of stop me on any of them if you want to touch on any of them. But number one, you just have to make a clear decision. And this is a clear decision of drawing the line of, hey, I'm not going that direction anymore, regardless of what someone says, regardless if I, step on any toes. Like, this is the direction that I'm going to go. This is the way that I'm going to eat. This is the way that I'm going to live my life. And you have to make a clear decision. Hey, like I'm going the other direction.
That statement, I think I'm going to,
Yeah.
I must, I am.
Mm.
Now, when you step into that, I am, like, that's what I always say.
I am statements.
I am working out.
Yep.
I am a runner.
Yeah.
I am these things that I had no evidence to prove that I was a runner before, because I didn't run. But I have a conversation I have with one of my coaches, like, oh, we're not runners. And I'm like, no, like you tell yourself these stories that you're
Yes.
not something, then you buy into it, then you automatically are hearing exactly what you're saying, and your brain hears what you say, and then it reverberates back through, and then you start to think that that's actually true. So,
Yeah. What's funny about you saying that is point two, I changed how I speak to myself. So there's no more I can't. There's no more I've always done this. You start to speak to yourself like a person of who I'm becoming. And this person. Yeah, so there's point number two. Point number three, stack at least one win every day. You say it all the time, and now I've started to say it all the time, is what you focus on is what you get.
Yep.
So you focus on negativity, you're going to find negativity. But if you're finding wins, and there's always something we can find a win in. Every day there's always something that's positive, somewhere where we're winning in life. And so whether it be like, hey, I worked out today, I ate a meal with protein in it today, I've got my steps today, like, it's all about proving to yourself that you can do things on a daily basis. That leads to momentum. And then that momentum just leads to the results.
Prove it to yourself you are who you say you are.
Yeah. Building evidence. Number four, I followed my non-negotiables. And for me, I keep my non-negotiables pretty simple. I don't snooze my alarm, which starts my day with a lot of momentum and starts my day with the truth. And then also, I hit 10,000 steps every day. Those are the two things that, like, I'm going to do every single day. And there's other things that I have in there. But as far as, like, for my physical results, those are two things that I'm going to do every single day. 10,000 steps, make sure that I'm being intentional about getting movement. And then not snoozing my alarm. It starts my day with the truth. And it starts my day with, hey, there's stuff I got to get done in the morning before I get to work. So it just puts confidence on me there. Point number five, I put myself in the right environment. So I'm choosing people, I'm choosing places, I'm choosing habits that support my growth. Staying out of, not having people in my life that are going to bring me down and suck the energy out of me, or be in places where I know it's not going to lead to the result that I want. And so putting myself in the environment that's going to help me get the result that I want. Number six, didn't let my feelings decide my actions. So you're going to still show up even if you don't feel like it. And I think that that's key, because if you let your feelings dictate your actions, our feelings let us down 9 times out of 10. And so you just have to, like, this goes back to the non-negotiable side of it. Like, hey, I told myself I was going to work out today. I'm going to work out today. You just do it and you show up. And I've never had someone come to the gym and then leave and go, bro, I'm so frustrated that I came into the gym and got that workout with you today. They always go, I'm so happy that I came in. It was hard for them. They come in with a story of like, dude, I did not want to be here today. I'm tired. But when they leave, they're like, I'm so happy that I did that, because they know they invested into themselves and they feel a lot better. Number 7, I track the right scoreboard. So this is focusing on habits that are going to serve you and not focusing on things that destroy your confidence. So I know for some people, like, it's good for some of our clients to weigh regularly, but we've got some clients that just like focus so much on the scale that they don't even, it's clouding out the wins that they have in other areas. Like, for example, one of our clients, I did his measurements yesterday, and I kind of encouraged him to, because he's getting pretty discouraged on the direction that the scale is going. He's put on 10 pounds. And, but man, I see the way that he's performing in the gym. I see a noticeable difference in his body. And I'm like, I don't really feel like he's putting on a lot of body weight. Like, yeah, you're up 10 pounds, but let's get some measurements and see how things are going. Tested his body fat percentage. His body fat percentage was the exact same. Actually, he was even down 0.1 on his body fat percentage, but he's gained 10 pounds. So that shows you, like, dude, you're stacking muscle on. So I'm like, I can't wait to see the measurements now. He put muscle on his biceps, losing fat off of his arms, losing fat on his legs. So there was areas where his body was down, but all he was focused on was, I put on 10 pounds, and he was real discouraged. And then the way that he started to talk, the way that he was moving around the gym was completely different from the other days of him just looking at the scale as progress. Like, now that he saw the evidence in his measurements, it completely flipped his outcome and his motivation to keep going. Number 8, repeated the basics. This is we're huge on this, not overcomplicating things. And that's where people, they overcomplicate things a lot. And they try to, when it comes to changing their identity, they try to give themselves a checklist of, all right, I'm going to do these 10 things. And it's a complete opposite way that they were living life before. And they just expect to just do a 180 just like that. And it's like, you just got to focus on simple things. Try to hit your steps, eat protein in every meal, stop eating processed foods, just like simple little things, and don't overcomplicate it. A lot of times I'll just give a client, hey, this is the one task we're focused on this week. Tons of other areas we need to improve, but this is the one thing that we can focus on this week. That way we build some momentum, and go from there. And then last 2, I surround myself with people who live it. This is huge for us. And I know this keeps us going, because you know that I'm going to put the work in. I know that you're going to put the work in. And that's why we work so well, because we have a deadline on things that we get done, and we flat out get it done. And so just being around people that are producing results, and not only that, but being around people that have the results that you want. If you're hanging around people that don't have the results that you want, more than likely you're going to kind of hold you back and hold you from getting to the place that you want to be. So just getting around people that have the results that you want. Then last one, I let go of my old story. So I'm not that person anymore. I'm building a new identity. And man, this is one of the most simple actions of just telling yourself a different story, but it's something that I feel like people have a really hard time with, because they just beat themselves up so bad, and that's what keeps them stuck in the endless cycle that they're at.
Yeah. So do this then. When you start your day, identify the story that's going through your mind. So that may be, I'm too tired.
Mhm.
That may be that I'm too sore.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, I don't have time.
This is a
Whatever
part
it
of getting
is.
older.
Yeah, whatever it is, I can't lose weight.
Yep.
Whatever it is, have that statement and write that statement down. And then write down the opposite of that statement. So if I'm too tired, then put I'm rested. And then put down and list things that like make that true. You know, what I always talk about when I was going through that 18-month lawsuit, and the story was, I'm going to lose it all. And I just reversed that statement of I have it all. And I just started going like, I have my relationship with God. I have my relationship with my wife. I've got my son. I've got my health. And I just started listing all these things that proved that I have it all. And the next time that story came around of I'm going to lose it all, I would just remember like, no, I have it all. Like, look at this, all this evidence that shows I have it all. And it starts to change that perspective and that change that story. So you can actually see a different side. So.
Yeah. And we're laying all this out for you guys, and we might make it sound super simple, and it's challenging. It is. We've had these challenges ourselves, but it's gonna take getting uncomfortable, and it's gonna take, if you don't have the results that you want, you're gonna have to change the way that you live day to day. You can't just say I want this and just expect those results to happen. Like, if you don't work out on a regular basis, you're gonna have to start to implement workouts. If you don't eat whole foods on a regular basis, you're gonna have to stop going and eating convenient things at the drive-through, and then eating convenient things from a gas station. Like, you're gonna have to figure out, hey, there's some simple things that I need to switch and change, and you're gonna have to start to implement those. And it doesn't have to be all at once, but just implement little things into your life. But it's gonna take some effort, and it's gonna take change to actually get the results. And yeah, man, if you want to pitch our our 30-day program that we're doing right now. With all of our clients that we bring in, we show them how to get the results, and we show them that it doesn't have to be hard and it can actually be simple, and we got the game plan for them.
Yeah, so results in advanced lives has been something I've been wanting to put out for a few years now. But back before Bryce left, it was something I had almost was about to launch, and then I had to go back and recreate because I lost the individuals helping me do it, build it out. With that though, what we're trying to do is we don't give prices online, because if we give you a price, you're going to look at something like a Crunch or a Planet Fitness. Had a guy come in yesterday at like a boot camp and talk about, oh, this isn't the boot camp, right? No, we're building everything around you. So what we wanted to do is create something that where individuals can raise their hand. I also know that individuals have stories and have things going through their head where they're not wanting to come in for maybe a strategy session, and they don't want to meet in person because they don't know if they're really ready or whatever it may be. Is the price. You can come up with all kinds of reasons why. And so what I wanted to do is I wanted to have something where individuals can just sign up for a Zoom. We're doing one April 2nd at 6:30 p.m. And then we do 2 weeks from then. So whatever date that is, we go every 2 weeks. So we'll do that. And so with that, that allows you to, one, check out what the vital method is and how we put this into our clients' lives to help them change. And so, like, quite literally, you can get all the information that you need, and you could try to do it on your own. But for the action takers, if you take action, you're getting the cheapest price we offer. You're getting visits over at Stretch U. You're getting all kinds of value so that you can experience what we do for 30 days and then make a better informed decision. If you hate it and you say Christian sucked and he told me this and that and it didn't ever happen, I will give you your money back. If on the other side though, if you love it, then that money rolls over and we go into our next phase, which is we're going into that momentum and that skill set phase, because again, we're trying to get you through those two phases so you know how to eat, you know how to work out, you know how to stay mobile, you know how to sleep, you have routines, and now you're set up to win long term. And then you can make a more informed decision after going through those two phases, whether you want to continue the route that you're going, or if you want to lean into our other level of training, which with individuals graduate those two phases, they could then come in and drop in whenever they want to work out. They can follow our programming. They just don't have a coach that's pointing them, but we've already coached them up to get them to a place so they know what to do as far as that stuff goes. And you save some money that way as well. So results in advanced live, that's what I point you to. You can shoot us a message with results in advanced live. We'll get you the link to sign up for it. We can also get you the replay after it's over with. So if you can't make it live, and we'll go from there.
Yeah. Yeah. So for Coach Christian, Seth Humphrey, another episode of Inside the Mill. See you on the next one.